Did you know that psychological relationship thrillers generate over 400% higher click-through rates on streaming platforms than traditional romantic comedies? Audiences are completely transfixed when on-screen love stories cross into forbidden territory and destroy domestic boundaries. In this video, we are unmasking Hollywood's absolute darkest secrets, from manipulative student-teacher mind games to scandalous double lives happening right under a family's nose. These twisted dynamics go way too far. Here are 13 intense Hollywood relationship movies that crossed lines. Number 1. Miller's Girl, 2024. Imagine an assignment so provocative it ruins a teacher's entire life. In this psychological thriller, Jenna Ortega plays Cairo Sweet, a brilliant but deeply isolated 18-year-old student living alone in her family's massive estate. She sets her sights on her creative writing professor, Jonathan Miller, played by Martin Freeman. When Cairo is tasked with writing about her greatest achievement for a university admissions essay, she decides to create a real-life narrative by seducing him. What starts as an intellectual battle of wits quickly crosses moral lines after a late-night encounter leads to a highly explicit, provocative short story. When Miller rejects the piece, Cairo's obsession shifts to pure malice. She weaponizes the school system to systematically dismantle his career, his marriage, and his sanity, proving that her ultimate achievement was his orchestrated downfall. Number 2. May-December 2023. This psychological masterpiece dives into the deeply unsettling aftermath of a relationship that shattered societal boundaries decades prior. Natalie Portman plays Elizabeth, a Hollywood actress who travels to Georgia to study the life of Gracie, played by Julianne Moore. Gracie became a tabloid sensation 20 years earlier for starting a relationship with a 13-year-old boy, Joe. Now, Joe is an adult, played by Charles Melton, and the couple is raising their own children who are heading off to college. As Elizabeth embeds herself in their daily lives to prepare for her movie role, her invasive questioning cracks the perfect facade of their marriage. The film brilliantly exposes the toxic manipulation, arrested development, and deep emotional damage hiding beneath their seemingly happy home. Number 3. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, 2011. David Fincher's dark Hollywood masterpiece sitting across from you at the family dinner table. Number 4. The Voyeurs, 2021. What happens when innocent people watching turns into a dangerous obsession? This sleek streaming thriller stars Sydney Sweeney as Pippa, a young woman who moves into a beautiful downtown apartment with her boyfriend. They quickly realize they have a direct view into the window of an older, highly attractive couple across the street who never close their blinds. What begins as a cheeky, late-night amusement turns into a full-blown addiction as Pippa witnesses a series of infidelities and dark secrets. As she crosses the line from a passive observer to an active participant, she gets pulled into their orbit. The age and maturity gap becomes a sinister weapon as the older couple plays a lethal game of manipulation, proving that the cost of looking is deadly. Number 5. A Family Affair, 2024. This popular romantic comedy drama handles a highly uncomfortable boundary-crossing scenario with a mix of humor and high emotional stakes. Joey King stars as Zara, a young woman working as a personal assistant to a narcissistic, demanding Hollywood movie star played by Zac Efron. Zara's life is turned completely upside down when she walks into her house and discovers her nightmare boss is sleeping with her widowed, protective mother, played by Nicole Kidman. The sudden secret relationship forces the family to confront massive boundary issues as Zara is caught between her chaotic professional life and a deeply surreal domestic reality where her boss might just become her new stepdad. Number 6. No Hard Feelings, 2023. Jennifer Lawrence delivers an incredibly edgy performance as Maddie, a woman on the brink of losing her childhood home. Out of desperation, she answers a highly unusual job listing posted by wealthy, overprotective parents. Their demand? Date their socially awkward 19-year-old son, Percy, before he leaves for college to help him break out of his shell. What follows is a wild comedy drama that tackles the uncomfortable commodification of intimacy. As Maddie tries to orchestrate a romance with a young man who has no idea his parents are funding the relationship, the film explores the bizarre extremes to which modern families will go to control their children's romantic lives. Number 7. Teenage Son. When Claire immediately tries to end the brief encounter the next morning, Noah's infatuation turns into a terror. Number 8. Cruel Intentions, 1999. the ultimate late 90s wealthy teen drama built entirely on toxic relationship games and step-sibling rivalries. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Phillippe star as Catherine and Sebastian, two wealthy, manipulative step-siblings who pass the time by destroying the reputations of everyone around them. They make a high-stakes bet involving the seduction of the headmaster's naive, pristine daughter. However, the game shatters family and moral boundaries when real, vulnerable romantic feelings enter the equation. It is a sleek, dark look at weaponized love, proving that when you treat relationships like a chess match, the emotional fallout always leaves casualties in its wake. Number 9. Adore, 2013. Set against a stunning, sun-drenched coastal backdrop, this controversial drama explores an incredibly unconventional relationship dynamic that left audiences stunned. Naomi Watts and Robin Wright star as Roz and Lil, two lifelong best friends who have grown up together and live next door to one another with their respective teenage sons. Over the course of a long, isolated summer, boundaries dissolve completely as each woman begins a passionate, secret romantic relationship with the other's son. The film dives deep into the psychological isolation of their choice, tracking a deeply taboo bond that locks both families into a quiet defiance against society. Number 10. Notes on a Scandal, 2006. A gripping psychological thriller tracking an intense, forbidden school relationship and the toxic obsession that surrounds it. Cate Blanchett plays Sheba, a young art teacher who begins an illegal, reckless affair with one of her 15-year-old students. She is quickly caught by Barbara, an older, deeply manipulative colleague played by Judi Dench. Instead of exposing the affair immediately, Barbara uses the secret to isolate and possess Sheba, forcing her way into the young teacher's family life. The film becomes a dark web of emotional blackmail, exploring how a hidden relationship can completely destroy a household from the inside out. Number 11. Chloe, 2009. When a successful doctor, played by Julianne Moore, suspects her handsome husband of cheating, she decides to test his fidelity by secretly hiring a beautiful young escort named Chloe, played by Amanda Seyfried, to seduce him. But the experiment goes completely off the rails. Chloe begins reporting back with hyper-detailed, highly erotic accounts of her encounters with the husband. These graphic reports create a strange, voyeuristic obsession for the wife, pulling the older couple and the young woman into a dangerous, claustrophobic love triangle where family boundaries are completely erased and lives are ruined. Number 12. Unfaithful, 2002. An intense, Oscar-nominated look at how a casual affair can lead to total psychological and domestic ruin. Diane Lane plays Connie, a happily married suburban mother who accidentally encounters a handsome, much younger French book dealer in New York City. What begins as a spark of curiosity turns into a wildly passionate, obsessive affair that consumes her daily life. When her husband, played by Richard Gere, discovers the infidelity, the emotional fallout triggers a chain reaction of violence, lies, and desperation that shatters their quiet home and forces them to protect a dark secret